Hey everybody watching, my name is Katie Mathewson. I'm going to be a senior and a media studies minor. So now I'm going to talk about this week's reading and viewings. My question is, how have Carrie and Sana sort of defined society's definition of identity, and how have they recreated it, and how do they want us to perceive identity using comic books and graphic novels as they use as their source of media. So for Carrie, I think graphic novels are sort of outlet, something that's kind of expressive that she can use, and that's how she created her personal identity. Having that outlet that leaves everything open to interpretation for her viewers and her readers is something that helps create identity. It's a great way to leave labels out of the picture, or at least her own labels out of the picture, so she leaves room just to create her own identity through her artwork in comic books. Sana talks about labels also. She actually opens her TED Talks video asking the audience to judge her, and I think that was something that was very powerful for her to do. It really allows you to think about the process of how you create identity. And she also discusses how labels simplify things, when in reality we shouldn't put labels on anything, because we are in fact complex human beings that don't need something painted on us to kind of stereotype us or anything along those lines. And so these two women from these two videos really talk about how an identity can be empowered through these comic books and their selection of medium. And people can also really create their own identity, and comic books really allow them to do just that. So Carrie says there are 3 powers of comics. The first is everyone can create them and they can draw their own worlds. The second is comics allow you to see the world of other people also, not just your own. And third, comics communicate with the world. Comics could choose to imitate the news and what we perceive as just the interest of the public, like media agendas typically do. But comics are a different type of media in the sense that they provide people with an outlet, a way to create your own identity. And I think that's really cool because it adds a new, fresh spin just on how we perceive things, especially with the story that Carrie talks about with the Red Cross, and how it was a news story, but she used it in the graphic novel sense, and it just took off because of its it being different from other mediums that are out there that could label things or simplify things. And I just think graphic novels or comic books don't really simplify things in that way, in that same demeaning way. Also, everyone's perception of the world is different, and that's something that I hear in all of my communications classes. Comic books are just a medium that really allows us to create our own identities without society's input. I think Sana would agree. She wants us to find our authentic identity in the same way, to find our authentic selves, as she says, and to create our own myths, to defy the myths of society and all the labels that people put on us. Instead, we can draw out our own identities, and comic books are just one way that we can. I'd like to pose a question of what are other sources of media that help us create our identity besides comic books. I know there are a lot of visual aspects that we could use, visual resources and things like that we use to create our identity. But what else is out there right now? What helps you define your own identity? And that's another question that I want to pose to you.